Hola amigos de Diario El Salvador, tenemos nuevamente en Diario El Salvador a Lina, que es la creadora de Little Hodler. Hoy nos va a comentar un poco de los nuevos proyectos que vienen en este año, así que estamos muy emocionados de tenerla aquí. Welcome Lina again, thank you for being here.
Thank you again, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so how the things is going in Bitcoin country? How are you doing here?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. The rainy season started. I love the rainy season. You know, when it rains back in Europe, everybody catches a cold because it's dark and cold and
Yeah.
And here it's warm and bright and yay, so it's awesome.
So we'll start talking about your new project. I mean, you are doing such a stuff in El Salvador, but you recently launched El Pequeño Hodler, which is in a new account. So tell us, what does it mean to launch this account? I mean, you are doing a lot of stuff in the country. We are talking about it in this conversation, but first tell us, what does it mean to have this El Pequeño Hodler in the Salvador?
But I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and I just didn't get around to doing it, right? I think the last time we talked, I told you, like, I want to do as much as I can. I want to move it to El Salvador.
Yeah.
So we're like, step by step, we're doing it, right? So we have more Salvadorans on the team now. So
Nice,
our
yeah.
company's here, right? And we're starting to do projects here. And obviously, I want to translate my comics. And we do projects here, so we want to share it, and we want to have a place to share it. So, of course, we made a Spanish language account.
And also, I wanted to talk about these new projects you're working on, especially the one with the Ministry of Education.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just want to talk about this. Could you explain me a little bit more about this project? I mean, this is kind of huge. I mean, this is education for kids, for schools. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah. Actually, this dates back to like the first time that one of the first times that I came here, but really the time that I decided, okay, we're going to move everything here. Because I have and I mentioned this in our last conversation, right?
Yeah.
That there is a very different vibe, if you want to call it, here, where I feel that you can add value and you are not disregarded. You are like you have the opportunity to contribute to something bigger, which is not something that it's not something that you have. It's very difficult actually to create this environment, and in El Salvador you have it, versus in many so-called developed countries, people who want to start something, people who want to build something, they feel that either it's being made unnecessarily hard for them, or it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really have a purpose, it's too complicated, and the country doesn't care, the government doesn't care, whatever. So it's very difficult to create this setup within which entrepreneurs and freelancers and just people who want to create and realize the visions that they have feel that they can do it and feel that there's a purpose behind it. Well, here you have it. And so I had that feeling when we came here, and it's part of the reason why we ended up moving everything here. And around the time I was talking to the Bitcoin office, so you know that's Stacy basically running that whole show.
Yeah.
And I told her, look, like, we're here, how can we help? You know, we want to do something. And we came and we proposed a bunch of things that we wanted to do, and she said, look, we actually want to do a school book for the kids. Because there is a school book already, right, that's made by My First Bitcoin together with the Ministry of Education for the high school students. So high school students, the whole book, they learn everything about Bitcoin. And there's a little gap with the younger ones that, you know, could now be filled. And so that's what we're doing. So we proposed, well, it makes sense, right? Because Little Hodler is very good at explaining things friendly and simply, lots of color, little text. It's not a brand exclusively for children, obviously. We have like a lot of adult fans, but we can adjust it very easily for children. So back then I made a mock-up. I said, this is how we would do it. They said, okay. And then we started working on it with the Ministry of Education. So the way this is looking is we are making actually several books for the different age groups.
Oh,
yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, because you have, let's say the little ones, they start at like 7 years old.
Yeah.
There's not going to be like much or any text in there, right?
Yeah.
So you have to adjust the content that you make, right? So there's something for the little ones, like lots of colors, really fun, just get, you know, build up some awareness, I'd say, right? And then from, you know, 9 years onwards, basically what we're doing is we don't start and throw Bitcoin at them, because much more important is financial education.
Yeah. So
actually the point from which we start is, what is money? Because that's a very simple question and it's very hard to answer. And that's not something that's being taught like anywhere, actually.
Yeah.
So I wasn't taught, like we didn't have financial education at school. I remember one time in like economics class or something where you should be taught about money. There was a graph about inflation and it's like, yeah, so that happened.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know why, but
exactly.
It happens. Yeah.
Like deal with it.
Yeah.
So what's happening here in El Salvador now, that the ministry is beginning to integrate financial education, making the kids understand what money is, how it works, and also more practical things like, you know, budgeting and saving and time preference, those kinds of concepts that sound complicated but they're not.
Yeah.
Actually, that puts you like light years ahead of the rest of the world, where that stuff isn't taught either by neglect or by agenda. I don't know, you know. So yeah, that's where we start. So the books will be like school books, basically a story told by Little Hodler, right? So
this is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, what I want to achieve personally, and we're working on with My First Bitcoin, with the Ministry of Bitcoin Office, lots of people, right? But what I want to achieve with it is that we don't force Bitcoin or anything for that matter onto anybody, but rather we create some sort of intrigue and interest, and then the students will get to the answer themselves. Because if you try to, and that is with everybody, not just with children, if you try to teach somebody about Bitcoin, but they're not open to it, nothing is going to stick. So you have to open them up to you first, right? And you do that by helping them understand money, because that touches everybody. It's not scary, it's not too, well, it is complicated, but actually once you see how unnecessarily complicated it is, then you start getting to the answers yourself. So that's sort of the structure that we're going for. And yeah, so that's what we're doing, school books with the Ministry of Education, which is really cool and feels really meaningful.
This is so great. So yeah, thank you for being here. I mean, this is, again, it was a great chat.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you again. So esta fue toda la entrevista. Les agradezco mucho por estar siempre pendientes en nuestras redes sociales. Así que nos vemos en otra entrevista.